So how do you get bigger eggs on the farm, guys? So it's a Saturday and I want to show you the size of the eggs, guys. Let's check this out. Look at these, guys. Look at these giant eggs. Look at that. Look at that. This compared with the what I had previously. Last week they were a bit smaller, so I decided to make some changes on the feeds. And the eggs are huge. The eggs are huge, guys. Look at that. These are big. This is the best standard of eggs to actually sell compared to the smaller ones. You don't want to sell the smaller ones. So they're huge eggs. They're huge eggs. I don't think you can really see that on the camera. It may appear normal or just a standard egg, but you know, comparing to the rest, the ones that I picked last week, they're really huge. So I want to show you how I achieved these, guys, and the effect was very immediate. That it was just amazing. You have to try that out. So check this out. So these are feeds, guys. I was doing some mixing here, but I have to repackage them or pack them into sacks. So this is the magic I want to show you, guys. This is what we call bone meal. Look at this. This is bone meal, guys. So basically these are crushed animal bones, the hard ones that have been crushed into what is this? Dust, like this is a sort of dust. You can see there's a dust. Actually, it's very dusty. You can see that. So a bit of larger pieces, relatively larger pieces, but most of it is actually dusty. So this is what I was feeding the chickens, guys, and within 24 hours, guys, I began to notice a huge change in terms of the size of the eggs, guys. So this is the magic, guys. Now this contains like every source of amino acids. It's in here. This one and soya, guys, they contain all those. Every source of the lysine, talk of lysine, talk of methionine, all those they're contained in here, because the bone structure of an animal actually is what actually holds, is actually what they call the skeleton, guys. So and that's where most of the minerals are held, guys. So that is the magic, guys. This is what I began feeding them. Now there's some precautions when using this bone meal, because it's mostly calcium. You may find that it's 55% calcium, or rather way over 60% calcium. So there are precautions to consider, because you don't want to use too much of it, you see. So you don't want to use too much of it. I think you have a bit of a soya here left. I think you have that. This is a crushed soya. Very helpful, very helpful. It has a DCP of around 45%. 45%. So this one you buy it. Now first of all, you don't just crush it immediately. You have to roast it first before you crush it. So it has a bit of work on it. So when you buy from the local market, it has a bit of work on it. So here are some feeds we are mixing, and they just have to be packaged already. So this is the bone meal I was talking about, guys. So I was talking about some precautions when using this, because it's mostly calcium and you don't want to use too much. You see, you don't want to use or give your chickens too much calcium. So it has to be used in the 5%. So when you are mixing feeds, let's say 100 kg of feeds, so you can only use 5% of that, 5 to 10% of this, you see. So because it's highly carbonated, there's a lot of calcium in it. There's a lot of calcium in it, because these are mostly bones, guys. So you can see that. Now you may be wondering, will the chickens be able to swallow these as relatively large pieces? Yes. And the smell is nice, guys. It smells meaty. That nice meat kind of actually smell or odor from when you buy meat. That it has that nice smell, guys. Nice smell of that adds a lot of flavor to the food, and it improves the feeding, guys. So that is the magic, guys. This one contains all the essential acids, the amino acids, all of that combined in one area. So that's why the chickens are able to lay bigger eggs and very tasty eggs, guys. So now I combine that with a bit of let me give you more tips, guys, on how to save cost of production. You see, so this is our sunflower. the sunflower. It is relatively cheaper compared to that. Now this one is a 50 kg bag, which goes for, I bought it for 3,500 Kenya shillings, so that's around 35 to $40. And this one is actually 2,600 Kenya shillings. So these are 50 kg. Both of them are 50 kg bags, and the use, guys, the the profitable bit of it, guys, it's very huge. The returns when you use this, it's very high, guys. It's very high. The results are really good. So this sunflower, it has a relatively low crude protein of around 35%, 35 to 36% crude protein, and it is nice. It is nice to use because now you don't want to use it in very large quantities because it will make the food darker. Considering the color, it will make the food darker, so you don't want the food to be very dark. You see, now if you look at mine, you can see these are mostly soya, and a large percentage of it is actually maize bran. So now we don't want to add a lot of sunflower in it, but now this was supposed to be 200 kilos. So guys, you have to excuse for the sound in the background, the noise from the goats in the background. It's a farm anyway, so I hope you understand what this is. So I used 10 kilos of this, rather 10 kilos of our of this is sunflower. So I used 10 kilos of this, and I think I did 50-50, and 10 kgs of this. So 10 kgs of that sunflower and 10 kgs of this bone meal. So that makes it 20 kilos. And then I combined with 32 kilos of this soya, guys. 32 kgs of soya. Now I don't have the high protein daga or sardines, or the fish meal as they preferably called. So but this is a replacement. It's a very nice replacement, guys, considering the amino acids present, the elements that are present here, guys. So that's very good. It's a very good replacement. So the moment if you don't have any of this, you can switch between bone meal and sunflower and sardines. You see, so you can choose between or rather among those four, you can choose 2 or 3 combinations of those. Now you don't have to put all of them together at once. You don't have to combine soya and bone meal and sunflower and then sardines in one place, but you can choose depending on the the amount of money that you have. It's actually an economic factor that you have to consider. You see, so at the same time you want to save cost, guys. You want to save the cost of production, so you have to think about it. Now relatively at this point, the most expensive here still remains this, which is soya, guys. The soya meal remains the most expensive among these 3, guys. So soya meal is the most expensive at this point because it's going for way more than 150 shillings per kilo, you see. And this one is going for 70 shillings a kilo, and then this one is going for around 50, you see, 40 to 50 shillings a kilo. So this one remains the most expensive, and the reasons are there why it's relatively expensive compared to the rest of this. So that is the reason, guys. So you want to save the cost depending on your pocket, depending on how much money you have. It is an economic factor that you're considering, guys. So that's how we save the cost of production, guys. So yeah, I believe if you combine any of those, guys, that I've mentioned, you will be able to save a lot of money in terms of production, guys. You should be able to save a lot of money. So I managed to acquire some this is actually coccidiostad. I don't know if you've ever seen these coccidiostad. It smells nice, guys. The odor is nice. It's nice. I think so. That we just use a small percentage of it, just 50 grams. 50 grams in 100. When you're making 100 kilos of feeds, you just need 50 grams of that. You see. So I believe, guys, if you combine any of those protein sources that I've just mentioned, guys, you'll be able to save a lot of money, guys. These are crushed maize, whole maize. You can see that crushed yesterday. Relatively large pieces. It is good because the chickens are all grown up at this point. We are doing 6 months. way over 6 months, guys, at this point, and all of them are have grown up at this point, so they shouldn't have any problem swallowing any of these pieces. And it's actually their preference, because they actually start with the larger pieces. When you give them the feeds, they start with the larger pieces. So see you next week, guys. Continue subscribing to the channel.